Yeah, this wouldn't have been my first choice, Ruby, to come this way. Hey YouTube, welcome back to Alongfortheride EV. It's New Year's Eve. We are headed to Goderich to spend the New Year's with some family and friends. So we're gonna navigate to, gotta remember how to do this, right, so gotta go into contact. Yeah, we're gonna navigate to Goderich. So we charged the vehicle up to 100% last night, which gave us 523 kilometers. So I'm not doing this because I'm concerned about range at all. I'm not even sure I plug in when I get up there, but we're gonna do full self-driving all the way. The trip is 144 kilometers, should take me an hour and 2 hours and 3 minutes, apparently, based on traffic. There's quite a bit of traffic, actually. So yeah, we're gonna head up to Goderich New Year's Eve and just see how we do. I'm not too concerned. It's saying we're gonna get there with 62%, which is fine. Let's just hit self-drive right now, actually, and let's get going. I'll hang on to this camera. We've had some concerns. Ruby's struggling a little bit with full self-driving with mainly the rural roads. We're still having a lot of speed limit miscalculations where it thinks it's 50 and it should be 80, or it's picking up 80 late, that kind of thing. So we've been providing that information back to Tesla. I don't know whether I've been accurate enough doing that. Should actually maybe do a tutorial and find out exactly what that's supposed to look like when you do that information. But so it's been a good experience. We've had some pretty blustery days around here the last couple days, and this car has handled tremendously with full self-driving and even just handling in the snow. It drives so well in the snow. So we're gonna continue to kind of test self-driving. I gotta say, I'm kind of liking it. This is what, day 21 now of owning the car, and I love the small vehicle. I've always enjoyed a small vehicle, not too small, but I got in my kids' vehicles the other day just to move them around and kind of clean them up, and boy, the one pedal drive thing, when you don't get used to hitting the gas and brake, and just kind of driving with one pedal, it really simplifies the driving experience. And again, I gotta say, it really is a smart vehicle to drive. And when you start to eliminate all those other systems that we don't really need, so this is 80 here, it's taken a bit to kind of speed up. But that's the other thing I noticed too, is it's not super aggressive. I'm on standard mode right now for full self-driving in terms of its speed ups. I'm gonna crank it up to, well, that didn't even crank it up to hurry and see what happens. Don't like people behind us getting annoyed. Traffic up ahead's not moving too fast either, so maybe that's what it's picking up. I don't really know what the distance is here in terms of how close it gets to the car ahead. But right now we're only going 63 in an 80 zone. That car is a fair distance away. We've certainly been closer before. I'm not sure what's going on, but it seems to sense road conditions in the snow, and it seems to kind of adjust to that. It just drives really well. Like, I don't know what else to say. Like, people that are leery about full self-driving really have to get behind the wheel and experience it. And that's why I'm doing this full self-driving in this winter, because I'm just trying to test how accurate and how well it does. And it, again, drives better than a human would drive, in my opinion. It slows down much better. It's cautious much better. It adjusts to drifts and snow much better. It just does a better job. So now we're getting quite a bit closer to these cars up ahead. We're maybe 2 or 3 car lengths. But the one pedal drive, I really do love it. I use the brakes maybe once or twice. It's been a couple times where it hasn't quite slowed down as quickly as I wanted it to. Now we're slowing down quite a bit. There's a bit of wind today. Mother Nature's not quite as angry as she's been the last 2 days with the wind. So we'll kind of see how this drive goes. I know that going up to Goderich can be a bit of backcountry roads. We'll definitely get some drifting and some blowing, so we'll see how well it does and whether or not I need to take over. I still can't believe how clean this windshield stays. I'm behind this car right now, and he doesn't have mud flaps, and like, this windshield's not getting dirty at all. I just don't understand it. I'd love to see the wind tunnel or aerodynamic research on this vehicle, because if I was driving anything else, I would be wiping the windshield already by now. I'm convinced I would be. We will see how this goes and keep you posted and do some chatting along the way. We'll just see what the ride's all about. So until then, stay tuned. Well, I don't know who's driving up ahead here, but they are certainly driving way slower than the speed limit. I don't know if they don't like winter driving, but we're just now reaching 50 in a 60 zone here, and they've been crawling ever since. Definitely the roads are not in that bad condition today. This is just a wet road. It's not at all snowy. See if we can't get ahead of them and get going here. Changing to 80, let's see if it picks up on the FSD. See, it's not picking up the speed limit change. And these people aren't going very fast anyways, but it should be picking up this speed limit change. Let's get out of this. not picking up speed limit change to 80 kilometers. And let's get around these guys. So easy to pick up. Wow, 124, we are gone. That is the beauty of a Tesla and electric. Wow, that was insane. So fast. Better slow down, but still not picking up the 80 kilometers. We're still sitting at 60 kilometers an hour. So it's definitely not recognizing it on this road. Pop back into full self-drive. Here we go. That pickup is just insane and so smooth. I love the way it just kind of stops at the stop sign and then creeps ahead. I'm sure people behind me don't like that because that's a pretty traditional textbook driving method. But one thing I did want to share with you is the quality of audio. I mean, the quality audio in this car is fantastic. So I've tried the TuneIn feature. This app is really nice. The beauty of it is I actually didn't have to sign in. I don't know if I am actually in. Yeah, so I don't have a TuneIn account, but I can still use it. So I got Boom 97.3, which is the station I like. Wait till we get done these turns. Speed going here. Okay, so TuneIn. This is the TuneIn feature. I just want to interesting the difference in the sound when you go from radio to TuneIn. So this is TuneIn. I'm hoping you can hear it. I know I can hear the difference. We'll turn it up. So this is TuneIn, and I hope you can still hear me. We're going to leave the volume the same level. Now let's go to radio. That's the same station on radio. Now what I did notice was interesting that the level drops, quality of sound is different. Oh, which way are we going? We're going a little more back roads, eh? Do I want to do this? Well, we'll see where it takes us. Hopefully this isn't a gravel road. Now the speed limit's 40. It will slow down a bit here. It is quite snow covered. Which means my wheel wells are going to fill up with snow and the backside parts there are going to get covered in snow. Something going on up here too. I see some lights. Yeah, this wouldn't have been my first choice, Ruby. Actually, I think I might... Well, where does it want me to go here? Again, it's handling really well and it's adjusting for the tires on the passenger side hitting that snow drift. There's a guy on a tractor up here cleaning his driveway. So it's slowing down for that. Is it gonna move out of his way? Not really pulling out of the way there, but we can't really see over this hill either. So maybe that's why. Yeah, not my first choice. This road's not as clean as I would like it to be. Good test for FSD, right? That's what it's all about, is testing to see how well it works. And we're on standard mode. It's driving 60 kilometers in a 40 kilometer max zone. So I'm not really sure what that's all about. If I go into dynamic or autopilot, right now I'm set to 11 kilometers over, which would be 51. So far I've done 66% of my driving on full self-drive, 1,100 kilometers on full self-drive. Like I said, I'm really enjoying it. I don't know that I would pay for it, but I'm really enjoying it now that I have it. Train tracks coming up here, snowdrift, it's slowing down quite a bit. Good stuff. I don't know if it sees the train tracks because they're not actually on the navigation system, but sometimes if it's got lights, you'll see the lights. Not exactly my choice of driving conditions here. I think I would have stayed on 97. Went right that way. Might be something going on 97. Anyways, we'll tune you back in shortly. So I don't really know where I am totally, so I've just redone the navigation to take us into Stratford, which looks like it's gonna get us on Highway 8 here fairly quick through New Hamburg. And I think we'll do that route instead of all these back routes. So not real thrilled. I shouldn't say I'm not real thrilled with full self-driving, and maybe it was more the navigation piece than anything, and got to take a closer look at the map, but it looked like it was going the right direction. So we're going to switch over to this and then rejig and get off these backcountry roads because they're just way more snow covered than I can appreciate. Glad I didn't wash the car before we brought it up here. So a quick update here as we're driving up to Goderich. I did actually get a hold of that company that was looking to have me do some product review with them. And they actually were okay with not sending me the front suction piece, but sending me a Wi-Fi or some sort of Apple CarPlay adapter to attach to my last video. So excited about that. So it looks like we're going to be creating a partnership and an affiliate program there with the company. Once we get the product, we'll do that video and show you how to install it and talk about the process with dealing with them and promote them. And if you're looking for solutions like that to get Apple CarPlay, so I think what they're going to send me is actually a device to get Apple CarPlay on the big screen. I'm not really thrilled about the idea of a secondary screen. I can do that with my phone. And then what does this big screen become if you're not using it for your apps, your texting, that sort of thing? It'll be interesting to see how premium connectivity changes, and we'll do a video on that as well. So they were on the same page as I was with the idea of not really doing a video on something that is not really my end goal. I mean, the suction thing would have been cool. It might have been enough, but since I've already purchased the full power front piece, I'm definitely going to be putting that in and using that. That is the way I want to be able to use that front space, so it makes sense to kind of go that direction. So excited about that, and we'll keep you posted on how that goes. It is definitely getting windier out here today. So we're on Highway 8, navigating to Goderich now, and actually we're not navigating, to be honest with you. It keeps wanting to send me on these odd country roads, which I'm not really thrilled about, so I want to stay on Highway 8. So yeah, it was trying to send me down all these unnamed country roads, and I really don't want to deal with the snowing and the drifts. Actually, coming through Stratford was bad enough, really. I don't know if they just don't plow the main street quite as much as they should. It's interesting because when you live in the rural area, you forget about the fact that when you live in a city area, urban area, there's a lot less space for the snow. So it tends to get piled up everywhere. So maybe that's part of why they didn't have the roads that clear. But anyways, we're on Highway 8 navigating to Goderich. When I say navigating, we're really just self-driving, because you can actually use self-drive and not have a destination programmed into the navigation, which is really kind of cool because it's doing everything it needs to do around speed limits and staying in the road. And what's nice about this is when I flip on a signal light, it does the turn I want it to do. So instead of trying to break out of a navigation direction, it just turns when I want it to turn, which I think right now this would be very similar to the AutoPilot system, which is what happens when I lose full self-driving. So AutoPilot has what, in a regular ICE vehicle we would call lane keep or smart cruise or blue cruise, whatever those things are in all the different vehicles that are out there. So that's kind of what we're doing right now. It's just staying on the road. It's driving, stopping and slowing down when the person in front of us is stopped and slowed down. So it's actually pretty cool. So I'm just going to let it do this because it's pretty much a straight drive right into Goderich from here. Still on this full self-driving kind of view. It definitely is a little bit different in the sense that I don't know how it's sensing road conditions, but it definitely is. You really have to kind of give it some gas to get it back up to speed, I guess you could call that. And maybe I'm pushing it beyond the limits of it likes with the road. Once you get to that speed, it kind of locks that speed in. So it's a little bit more like a cruise, which I think is exactly the AutoPilot piece. It adjusts to the speed limits really well. Here comes the 60 kilometer zone. We'll see how we do here. I'm on standard mode. It seems to approach them fairly quickly. Let's see, here comes the 60 kilometer sign now. Yeah, but it slows down so well. Like you're not hitting the brakes and sliding, just the whole vehicle, you can feel the whole vehicle slowing down because of those motors. It does such a great job. We're back into like fully snow covered roads here, but it handles fantastically. And you can't see this, but you can see the steering wheel kind of going back and forth like this. Maybe you can see it in the view there, just to kind of adjust with the snow and the drifts and the grooves that we create as we drive on the snow road. So all good here on our way to Goderich. Let's get back to listening to some tunes, and we'll get back to you about some more stuff. We just had an AutoPilot aborted thing happen here. Really quickly it shut off and then came back on. So I don't know what that was all about. Something about a system failure, but it seems to be okay. It just continues to impress me. You can't even see the yellow line on this road. It's totally covered in snow. We're just following the truck ahead of us, and it seems to be doing a great job. Even when a big transport truck passes us by here, it just stays planted on the road. Something else to just chat about here. I'm going to be emailing Tesla or whatever you do. I actually don't know how you can connect with Tesla, but one of the recommendations I want to recommend for Canadian vehicles is the wiper service mode, is where you can get the wipers up on the screen and get them out of the way so you can clean them off and that kind of thing. It's buried under the wiper menu. It would be nice if it was a quick shortcut to get onto that mode, because I would use it far more often than I think they realize. It's a nice way to get them out of that space, especially when it's going to be parked outside and be covered in snow. It also allows you to clean them off, but I don't like that you have to search it, because it's not just quickly in the wiper area right on the main screen, which is something that I think I would like to see. So I'll be emailing Tesla about that, and then we'll see how long it takes to maybe see if that update comes through. Would be handy on this vehicle. Another thing I've noticed in this weather conditions and driving this vehicle is the all-wheel drive system. So with the F-150, of course, it has four-wheel drive, and when you stick it in four-wheel drive, it's super aggressive. And as much as it does a great job of being in four-wheel drive, the back end of the vehicle is still very, very light. That aluminum frame, aluminum panels and stuff make that truck very, very light. So it's not quite as effective as it could be if you had some weight in the back, but you can really feel the all-wheel drive kind of kicking in with this vehicle, the kind of push from the back as you're driving along, especially when it gets greasy and slippery. You can really feel that system kind of kicking in. And I know it's in constant all-wheel drive, but there's obviously some traction control happening and things like that, and you can definitely notice it. So it's definitely something that really connects the vehicle to the road, especially when the roads are in. I can't believe the condition of these roads. They've really not cleaned them up as much as I thought they would have. It could be because of the ice and that we had the other day. Like, these are full of ice and covered, snow covered, definitely not down to the pavement, and that's why they're bumpy like this. Lots of big chunks of ice missing and potholes. Here are the conditions we're driving in, just to give you a sense of full self-driving and how well it works. It's crazy. Like, it's absolutely crazy how well this thing drives in this weather and reacting to people. So we're sliding a bit. That guy's sliding on his turn. Yeah, I don't know if you saw that or not in the video, but he was struggling. Like, you can see these roads, they are completely ice and snow covered, and I am not second guessing this vehicle driving at all. Well, we made it to where we needed to go. Wasn't too bad a drive, a little bit of a country road going there. This is interesting because it's really not picking up. Oh, there must be another driveway there that they typically come down. Yeah, so not too bad. We made it. The weather certainly got worse as we were driving. It doesn't look too bad up here right now, but these roads are snow covered as well. It was pretty clean through Goderich there, so we are definitely arriving with 63% like it anticipated, so not too bad. I mean, that was a chunk of battery, but again, not too concerned about it because I have lots of kilometers to get home. I think we'll probably end up plugging it in here, probably not charging it. We'll leave it overnight. We're gonna be here for a couple days and just see what ends up happening with the battery level overnight. It's -8, supposed to go down to, I think, -12 or something tonight. So we'll just plug it in so it's plugged in, because Tesla likes that, but we won't worry about charging it. We can charge it when we get back home, and that'll be fine. So an uneventful, but yeah, an uneventful drive. I was really pleased with the way it handled it, the way it handled the snow. I like the self-driving actually when you're not navigating. That was kind of nice. And honestly, I would be more than happy to have this thing drive me up here rather than me driving in that weather, because there were times where you couldn't see the middle of the road, but for some reason this vehicle was able to find it. So very, very impressed. Yeah, the wind is just howling up here. It's a kind of a crazy winter time right now, but thanks again for coming along for the ride. We'll probably do a little bit when we get there and just plug her in, but we'll keep you posted, and maybe we'll do another video on the way home. So this is Greg Sinti for Along for the Ride EV, and we'll see you soon. Take care and Happy New Year. Well, we made it home after 2 days in Goderich of some blustery weather. 16% battery left. We didn't bother charging it while we were there. We just had it plug in to a 12 amp plug with the portable charger. So we made it there. It was parked outside in some pretty wintry weather, but Ruby did okay. We made it home. Hence the PPF here on the back of the vehicle, right there. You can see why they do that. We're pretty snow covered and snow closed in, but we made it. We even did a little bit of self-driving, but didn't rely on it because it was pretty blustery. So here we are, made it home, snow covered, back end.